All right, we are live. I am here with Team Vendoo. I'm hoping that some of you are able to join in for this special bonus session with Vendoo. Again, thank you so much to Vendoo for sponsoring this challenge and making this challenge possible. They have made all 5 days of this challenge possible for me to be with you and help you get your reselling business launched. I want to quickly introduce you to Maria and to Erin, both with Vendoo. Girls, if you want to, introduce yourself real quick and say hi. Go ahead, Maria.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Maria, I'm Partners Manager at Vendoo. I manage the referral program. So if you want to join us and you need anything, I'll share my email later so we can talk. And we are with the expert of Vendoo, that is Erin.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having us, Lee. I'm super excited to be part of this challenge.
Well, thanks for being
here. I'm a product specialist at Vendoo, and today I'm excited to show you what Vendoo can do for you.
Yeah, and we talked, so today's session was about platforms and picking your platform. Oh, thanks for joining us, Yvonne. I see a couple of you out there now, so thanks for joining us this afternoon for this session. So this morning's session, we talked about what platforms, like, do you need to pick one platform? Can you sell across multiple platforms, and how Vendoo can help you do that? And in the old days, like, this was very, very difficult to have to go in and list to each platform separately, let alone having to manage inventory across multiple platforms. And Vendoo, now that Vendoo was created, that makes it super easy to go in and manage your inventory, makes it easy to be selling in multiple marketplaces at once and not spending your time having to go into each platform separately. And so the other thing we talked about, Erin, that I was hoping that you would maybe touch on today is some of the platforms out there, say like Poshmark and Mercari, they're a little bit more hands-on where you kind of need to refresh your listings. And so I'm assuming in part of your demo, you'll talk today, part of the masterclass, you'll talk today about how Vendoo can also help make those platforms a little bit easier with like the relist delist tool, because it's not just cross listing, it's so much more. So I'm going to go ahead and have you start, Erin. I think you have something planned for us. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing your screen if you're ready. Are you ready?
I am. Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to go get that added. There you go. All right, take it away.
So I'm super excited to show you Vendoo. It sounds like this program's perfect for this masterclass, for this initiative that you're doing, and really for everyone reselling. Lee, you just hinted at a lot of the core features and the value of Vendoo, but kind of as a highlight. In this little demo, I'm gonna highlight all of them. So what is Vendoo? It's a seller's best friend, and it handles quite a bit, but basically it has many tools that will save you time and make you money. Vendoo is, of course, most known as a cross-listing service, right? As a way to quickly get listings on multiple peer-to-peer marketplaces. So as you can see here next to marketplaces, we have quite a few integrated. But Vendoo is not just a cross-listing service. We do so many things to help you manage your business, including full inventory management, those bulk tools you hinted at that allow you to really maintain those more hands-on marketplaces, bulk delisting and relisting. We have sold item management, including a brand new sale detection and auto delist feature. We have analytics, spreadsheets, and so much more. So I've prepared kind of a very quick demo overview. Of course, at the end, I can invite you to some more resources if you'd like to see more. But this is designed for someone that's never seen Vendoo, so you can kind of get an idea of what it does and how easy it is to use. So this is your Vendoo screen. When you log in, you can see that's a really user-friendly software we have here. Everything is all on one tab. Creating an account takes just seconds. Your, account settings look like you'd expect them to. We are the only cross-listing service with a mobile app, so you can use Vendoo on your phone as well as, of course, on the computer with our Chrome extension. And basically, aside from creating an account, all that you do to get started is connect your marketplaces. With just the click of a button, you can connect to Marketplace. You'll see that that's it. I'm now connected to Poshmark. That is because my computer itself is logged into Poshmark. So Vendoo does not ever ask for your credentials. We don't have your credentials. You know, it's a safe and secure platform. We just connect because you are already connected. You'll also notice that it all operates on one user-friendly tab. And from there, the magic really starts. You can import your listings super easily. So right now, if you're selling on one place, like let's say Poshmark, but you'd like to get on more places, you can import in bulk really easily. So when I click here on the import screen, just like that, my one item not imported is available. You know, I have a lot on Poshmark, but the rest has been imported. So just like that, this is a listing I listed on Poshmark 10 minutes ago. I can import that. Vendoo brings your listings in, your photographs, all of your listing info. And now in our inventory, we have an item. So getting set up is that easy. Here is our Poshmark listing. And to start listing it on other marketplaces is very, very quick. I'm just removing my emojis here because Mercari doesn't allow them. I'm going to confirm the size of my item and select any special shipping methods that I'd like on this unique marketplace, which is Mercari. And just like that, our items being listed on Mercari. You can list your items on different marketplaces in about 2 to 5 clicks. And that was in real time, importing and cross-listing an item. However, the best way to use Vendoo is to actually use Vendoo as your listing hub. So I just showed you how to import, and that's because that's how so many brand new sellers get started. You're already resellers, so you're probably going to start by importing to cross-list. But moving forward, using Vendoo as your listing hub, so you're listing and cross-listing simultaneously, if that makes sense, is lightning fast. Creating a listing from Vendoo is 2 simple steps. We have a Vendoo form and marketplace forms. And rather than make you watch me fill this out, I'm actually going to pull up a draft where I've done just the Vendoo form. So as you can see here, we are going to list this item together. And I, on my own time, have done step 1, which is basically drafting a listing. You can see on the Vendoo form, you can upload your photo. So this is where you're starting your listings: title, description, your brand, condition, colors. So many of these fields, by the way, are defaultable so that you don't have to enter them each and every time. Tags, categories, shipping information, and price. We even have fields for you like cost of goods, which will be important when we talk about inventory management and spreadsheets. But listing with Vendoo is really easy because you only have to enter this information once. When the Vendoo form is complete and you click save, this information is all trickling, as I like to call it, to the marketplace forms. So listing this item on all of these marketplaces is going to be lightning fast. The only thing we'll have to do on a specific marketplace form is going to be anything specific to that one marketplace, a unique Poshmark field, for example. Here, there are some unique Poshmark fields, but don't forget that Vendoo allows you to use defaults a lot. So it's actually just 1 click to list this item on Poshmark. Next, we'll list on Mercari, where you'll see again, this information from the Vendoo form has come down into the Mercari form. There are some Mercari specific choices for me, but of course I can default them for quick listing. I'm going to do this optional Mercari feature, but with 2 clicks, we're listed on Mercari. Coming down to Grailed, I think you're starting to get the point. All of the info from the Vendoo form comes down. There are sometimes some specifics. A lot of them can be defaulted. So with just 2 to 4 clicks per marketplace, we can start listing this fast. Here I am in the default form. Again, all of these defaults at play, and we're listing on specific. So there are a few more fields, but even listing on eBay is faster with Vendoo. You'll see here that I did, in respect for your time, fill out a lot of my item specifics in advance. But a great thing that we have is auto population. So when I start to type in a couple letters, it enables me to kind of quickly, especially on the web, enter tab, and kind of zoom through these forms. eBay business policies are compatible with Vendoo. My most common, I can even default. So even listing on eBay, the beast, is faster with Vendoo. So we just listed that item in about 4 minutes while I explained everything I did on 5 marketplaces. The eBay icon is still loading, so let's give this page a refresh here. So that was 4 minutes, 5 marketplaces. When you're in your zone, it's even faster. And that is the magic of Vendoo. The way we have that 2-step form created where you kind of only have to enter information once, the way we have defaultable fields and auto population, and just the way our software works provides the fastest cross-listing service to resellers. One other really cool thing I'm going to show you about listing that saves even more time is that you can create custom listing templates with Vendoo. So your own rubrics for listings. And this is another major time saver. As you can see here, the first step of a listing that I'm going to do is use a template, right? You didn't actually see me list that handbag that we just listed, like create the listing, right? You didn't watch me upload the photos and describe it. Had you seen me do that, the first thing you would have seen is I would apply a template. And these are all my custom rubrics. I've created these for myself, and everyone can create them for themselves. I recommend creating them for each type of item you sell a lot of. So me as a fashion seller, you'll see I have jeans, tops, sweaters, sweatshirt, etc. When I use one of these templates, for example, looking at my jeans, at this point right now, all I've done is apply the template. My listing is already a third complete. So as if that process wasn't fast, like this is a game changer because this rubric has so much information that I would have to enter rather for each pair of jeans. So I've got some description language and measurement templates. I have some fields pre-selected like the category and the weight. These save me so many clicks. And they allow for consistency in my listings. So when I tell you it is the fastest listing experience for resellers, I am not kidding. We have it all. I do want to pause there before I talk to you about inventory management and some of our other tools, Lee, because that is, the biggest of all is the listing. Did you have any questions or want me to clarify anything at all? Oop, you're on mute, love. You're on mute.
Yeah, Lee, we cannot hear you.
Let me unmute. Yes. So I was just going to add that you're talking, you're explaining, you're walking us through it. So just, imagine if you're not doing that, how fast it is. For me, it's like 30 seconds to get my item cross-listed to, a few other platforms. So you just get in a pace, you get in a rhythm, and it is really quick.
For sure. I know. I always say that because I always, list like 4 to 7 marketplaces in, a couple of minutes. But I'm like, this is a live audience. Like, this is while I'm on my best behavior, explaining everything I'm doing. When you're in your zone and you can tab and enter around those fields, it's even faster than I can explain. I could do it faster than I could speak it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And in addition to giving you the fastest listing, really what's amazing about Vendoo is all of the other things, right? All of the other things that it does. Helping us with the actual inventory management is huge. There's a lot of components to inventory management, and at the basic practical level, it's a user-friendly place to see what you have and where it's listed and be able to kind of arrange and look through it as necessary, right? But there's also other business purposes. There's, tax information that we need. We need dates of acquisition and dates of sale and costs and selling fees and all of these calculations. We need all of this. And that's a really intimidating thing for a lot of sellers. If you're anything like me, you didn't go to business school, right? You just either really like to thrift, or you might really like to flip, or maybe both. But these things become really important, especially as we get tax forms from the marketplaces and we learn that we need a system. And Vendoo couldn't make this any easier. Vendoo manages your inventory just while you use it. Right. As you can see here, I have 384 drafts, and these are legitimate drafts. This is my death pile, if you will. I'm not proud of the number, but I am proud of the fact that all of this is in Vendoo. And what does that mean? First of all, it means the listings were already a third complete at the time I entered it. And that's because I've used templates. Number two, it means I have a solid plan for batch work, because as you can see, some of these are starting to get photos, and then they'll start to get descriptions. Some of these I've even tagged ready with my own custom label, because these are quite literally ready to be published. So I have this all very organized. But most importantly, as I've created these drafts, you'll see this item was purchased on June 14th of 2023, right? That number is important. The cost of goods is in here, which is important. And you can download a spreadsheet from Vendoo at any time. So Vendoo enabled me as a seller to quit my spreadsheet, which is the best breakup of my life, because it was by far the most toxic relationship. Because at any point, I can export all of my inventory to a spreadsheet. So at any point, I can create this custom document that has the title, all of the fields, right? All of the dates, all of the numbers, all of the, sale date, the date you got it, the marketplace fees, the cost of goods, the shipping fees, the quantity sold, the quantity available, everything I need on a spreadsheet, I could download at any time. So tax time is significantly easier because it's all here. It's all ready. It could be downloaded at any time. It's accurate. I don't need to keep up with a spreadsheet. I kind of just need to use Vendoo, because in my natural listing and, market sold process, this information kind of is obtained by Vendoo and at any point can be downloaded. So in addition to having that spreadsheet capacity, Vendoo just provides a really user-friendly way to view your items. This is the main inventory screen, right? And you can see, this item's listed on these marketplaces. These are all clickable, by the way. It could take me to my live listing, right? Here's my live Poshmark listing. I think I'm only sharing one tab, so it isn't taking me to Poshmark, but there we go. It pops up that tab here and share this tab instead. Here we go. And, here's a listing that I've given a custom label to because it requires my attention. We have these color-coded labels that allow for inventory management tools. We have all of these ways to sort, filter, view your inventory. You can see what is listed versus what is not on marketplaces. You can sort by SKUs if you use SKU numbers. You can see all of your drafted, active, and sold inventory indefinitely and all of the relevant information, right? You can see here, before I even open this item in my sold tab, that it was purchased on March 5th and that it sold today. It sold on Courtesy, actually, which isn't even a Vendoo platform, but Vendoo allows me to mark my items as sold everywhere I sell, which is another important thing. So whether, if you sell on other marketplaces in addition to these, we can still be your inventory management solution, your analytics solution, and really just keep you organized. And that really is a bigger part than it sounds, especially because the time that it takes to manage that independently. You can be the most organized seller in the world and have a beautiful color-coded perfect spreadsheet that you're proud of. But there does become a point where there's only so many hours in a day, right? So you can only enter info into that spreadsheet so much. You could hire more people to work for you and do more things, but even so, there's a limit of time and money available to everyone, until they scale. So having a software like this that does all these things, it's easy for me to kind of be spoiled and take for granted how amazing this is. So I always kind of like to just highlight that.
Yeah, you think about, the comparable costs of having like a VA or an employee or
Oh yeah. It eliminated a lot of things that I used to have VAs and employees and my husband do. And that's now done, and it's done accurately, which is another thing. It's maintained. There's no entering in the wrong line of a spreadsheet sort of situation. So let's talk about what you had hinted at earlier, which is kind of how we help you to make sales beyond this. And this is my absolute favorite Vendoo feature. This is the game changer moneymaker. This is what got me personally hooked on Vendoo. This is called bulk delist and relist. And it's huge. Before I even tell you what this is, I first want to explain what a delist and relist is. Okay. When we delist an item with Vendoo, we are deleting it. You might hear, I actually already have an offer on this item that we just listed together. So Poshmark won't let me delete it. How impressive is that, by the way? Love Vendoo. Let me try that again. When we delist this item, it is now deleted. And this is an important differentiation because a lot of bots and even some marketplaces, right? Like Facebook has a delist relist feature. None of them do what Vendoo does. We just deleted this item. Okay, let's do it from Mercari too. We are deleting this item. That's what a delist does. It deletes it. It's as if we went in, we actually did for you, and hit edit, delete, like confirm, goodbye. It's gone forever. And when we relist this item, this is a brand new first time ever listing with a brand new URL. It is not a share, not a bump, not a boost, not a refresh, not an end and sell similar, not a deactivate and reactivate, nothing like that. This is a brand new first time listing. And there's two reasons why that's super important. Right. One is that the marketplaces simply like when you are consistent. And if you don't believe that that matters, try to take a weekend off eBay and let me know how that goes, because it doesn't go well, right? They like consistent daily activity. But most importantly is the second reason. And that is that most search algorithms and news feeds, which are on most of our marketplaces, right? Anywhere with a search bar, prioritizes two main things. One is relevance, okay? And two is recency. Newer listings are promoted more. They're promoted more as in they rank higher in the searches on most marketplaces, and they're promoted more in the news feed, right? They often go to just in or to your followers or to people who follow a brand or who have saved similar searches. They enjoy more exposure and face time, thus maximizing your chances of a sale. And that's why we all probably know that when we do this manually, which is wildly labor intrusive, right? When we delete our whole listing, screenshot the photos, paste the description, and redo all the drop downs, we know that those listings often sell immediately after because that boost of exposure is huge. So the fact that we can do this and in bulk is amazing. We just delisted one item, which you actually don't need to ever do one item because you can multi-delist and relist. So you can bulk delist and relist up to 10 items at once from every marketplace that you would like. What this means is that literally with just a few clicks, you can have like hundreds of brand new daily listings everywhere you sell. And I can literally promise you that using this feature regularly will lead to more exposures, likes, comments, offers, etc., and most likely more sales. I single-handedly attribute this feature to tripling my sales my first year with Vendoo. And Lee, you had said at the beginning, some of them are a little more high maintenance. For example, Mercari is a great example. Mercari doesn't have too many tools, right? We can't pay to promote. We can't share to promote. There is a promote button. I think 10 listings a day are eligible. Even to send an offer on Mercari, you have to drop the price 10% each time. And not to the same liker, right? To any offer, to any liker requires a 10% discount, which is crazy. I personally don't even bother with those tools. They're very, very limited, but it's all that we have. So this feature is a game changer for a Mercari seller, as well as a Poshmark seller, Depop seller, Facebook Marketplace seller. It's not something that I necessarily recommend on a place like Etsy, where you have to pay for each new listing, because you would have to pay for each new listing. But the other ones, it's a game changer. Do you use this feature regularly, Lee?
Yeah. And for sure, like Poshmark and Mercari, you have to use. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely, for anyone that's not, if you're already happy with how much you're selling somewhere, whoo, get ready to be real happy because it's that much of a difference. When Lee says you have to, I agree. Because from where I'm standing with my business, if I don't do this, I'm not going to make the sales I need. I mean, it's just not going to happen. You cannot mimic listing hundreds of new items per day unless you have a team and hundreds of new items coming in a day where you could actually do that, which none of us do, unfortunately. So that's a really, really big feature. It's my personal favorite. And let's also talk about that kind of the end of the sale process. So obviously Vendoo will help you to list quickly. It'll help you to manage your inventory. That delist relist feature is amazing. Let's talk about sold item management. Vendoo is thrilled to announce a brand new feature in beta that is called Sale Detection and Auto Delist. And that's exactly what it sounds like. Vendoo will detect the sales that you make on marketplaces and then automatically delist those items. So it's really simple. It is in beta, so you'll see that it's not available everywhere yet. But for example, if I turn on this feature for eBay, what happens is Vendoo will actively scan eBay. And if I make a sale, Vendoo is going to notify me. The sale will be here, and it will ask me to enter some sale details so it can have some numbers to give me analytics. But it will automatically delist the item from everywhere else where it's listed when the sale occurs. And that is huge. That's a brand new feature. It is, like I said, in beta. It's not yet available for all marketplaces. So I'll also quickly show you the old-fashioned way with Vendoo, which is also pretty amazing still. This is how to mark your items as sold. So for example, I sold item 4707 today. I sold this on Mercari. By the way, I sold it right after I delisted and relisted it. It's so newly delisted, relisted that the banner that I just did it is still there. So if that's not proof that it works, I don't know what is. I sold it on Mercari, but it's on all 5 of these marketplaces. So I definitely want to get it down everywhere ASAP. And Vendoo allows me to do that super quickly. You can do this from the web or the mobile, but you can mark your item as sold where it has sold. Here you can enter any sale details that you'd like, which I recommend for those spreadsheets to be accurate and tax time to be a breeze. Thereafter, the magic really happens when I click the pink button. Right now, Vendoo is delisting this on the other 4, just like that, before I could finish my sentence. It was delisted everywhere else where it was listed. In addition to it instantly being delisted from everywhere, Vendoo did my full profit and revenue calculation, taking my sale price, subtracting my cost of goods and my marketplace fees and anything I paid for shipping to clearly give me my profit. And this is where those spreadsheets get all of the other numbers, right? When we list, we give, Vendoo the day we got the item and what it costs. And when we sell, we give it all of the other numbers. Tax time is now ready, right? It doesn't require going into our sales, trying to pull numbers out and recalculate fees. It's all here. And the item was fairly instantly delisted from everywhere else where it was for sale. So that is our mark as sold process. With that info, Vendoo also gives you some amazing analytics. So we'll give a look at a little longer period here. So we have some juice here. So looking at this period, you can see your profit and revenue per period, some stats about the number of items you've sold, listed, and your average sale price. And here's where it gets really, really cool, because some marketplaces do give us stats, but none of them give us stats against each other. Right? So the colors on these charts are the colors of the logos of the marketplace. And here you can get your stats, so the amount of your profit that comes from each source. I'm very clearly a Posh girl with 51% of my profit coming from Posh. You'll see that eBay, Depop, and Mercari compete for second place. And I've got a couple little slivers from a couple little other places. My average sale price here, I can learn quickly, is highest on Etsy, interesting, and unsurprisingly lowest on Mercari. Again, these are some marketplaces that are not even on Vendoo, but you can mark your items as sold no matter where you sell. So Vendoo can always give you accurate spreadsheets and analytics for your entire business. We'll also give you your volume, sales volume by marketplace, and even your top selling categories, subcategories, and brands, of course, all itemized as well. So that is kind of just the overview of features. There are even so many other little tools and custom features and personalized things embedded to help you list and manage your business, but I don't want to overwhelm someone with all of them. That said, we do host actually weekly calls. I have one tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, where it's kind of like what you just saw, but a little bit more in detail. And it explains like every single little thing. And I'd love, Lee, to welcome you and everyone that you work with in here and elsewhere to join us for that anytime as well. And I'd also be happy to take any questions that anyone has.
Yeah, that was a lot in a very short amount of time. I think that was like, what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's a lot.
I learned new things myself, just about being able to mark as sold on other platforms. I did not know you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see you do that, or how you get to that. I'm assuming it's just, mark as sold and then you enter it.
So let's say I sold these sandals on Whatnot. I would open them up and I'd click these 3 dots next to the Vendoo form and I'd click mark as sold. And from here, I can select where, and you'll see that in addition to all of the Vendoo marketplaces, we also have Vinted, The Real, In Person, Whatnot, Craigslist, OfferUp, Thrilling, and even other. And if I were to enter the, sale details here for Whatnot and click mark as sold, the pink button, it would then delist them from Posh and Mercari, the way it would if you do anywhere else. Yeah. And then it would just show up that they sold on Whatnot. So when you look at my analytics, for example, Curtsy is not a Vendoo marketplace, right? Instagram is not a Vendoo marketplace, but these are places I sell. I even sell on Jamble, which we don't have, so I use other. These can all be accounted for as well.
Yeah, and the in person, because that happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool. So for those of you out there, do you have any questions for Erin or Maria about using Vendoo? Again, interacting, asking questions, commenting. As a couple of you have already commented, that gets you entered into the drawing to win a month free of Vendoo. And so, for those of you that are brand new sellers, some people in the challenge that have not started selling yet, Vendoo, I think, would be a great place to start. When I first started, Vendoo didn't exist. And so if you could start out brand new and, start again, or start by learning how to create your listings on Vendoo, and you're starting out like that's how you do it, I think it's going to make things easier for you down the road. So we have somebody asking, could you explain creating the templates again?
Of course. So the point of a template is going to be like a rubric, right? So if you are a fashion seller, it's great to create them for different types of fashion. If you are a hard goods seller, maybe you have one for vases versus, I don't know, trinkets. I don't know why I gave that example. As a fashion seller here, I have them for different categories. And I think that's the key, is creating them for categories. So let's create one together, right? So I'm going to create one for jeans, and I'm going to think about everything that I would include in my jeans listing. So I'd probably put some of these little bullets. These are my text commands, which is not a Vendoo feature. It's just a Mac feature. And I would probably put my measurement rubric for jeans, right? Because that's going to go in all of my jean listings. And a lot of us use some kind of listing language, right? Smoke-free, pet-free. We're the best. Shop with us. We're amazing. So that goes in every single listing for jeans. So that's going to be what my rubric is, right? So I'm creating a fill in the blank situation. I take it pretty far. I put pre-owned as my condition on every single template because almost everything I sell is secondhand. So if it were new, I could change it, but it's less often that I have to press a button. And here's where it really helps. Look how many clicks we're going to save each time for category, right? 1, we opened category. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we don't have to find that category each and every time we list. And sometimes it's more than 5 clicks because all of the subcategories. Jeans all weigh about the same, right? Give or take. So I get to put that in here, which again, all of the information that I have just put in this form, which was probably 40 collective clicks, right? Especially if you think about all of the listing, language. I can just create this as a template. So I'm going to call it jeans. I'm going to put delete because it's a fake one. And that's my template, just like that. I created this template. So now anytime I go to list an item, I can use that template. And that's if you're using Vendoo already or when you start, that's actually what I recommend that you do, right? I don't recommend that you necessarily sit here and make, take an hour to make these. Just next time you go to list, a shirt, make a shirt one. It'll be in your mind what you need to put in the listing. And then every time after, there'll be a third done. Here's the template we just created together. And now if I were actually listing jeans, I'd kind of just, upload the photos, the title, fill a couple of these in, right? I put my size, I put my material, I put my condition, and then I could kind of zoom around these fields, right? They're Levi's. We're going to, tag them in retro. We're going to tab around these fields. All that we have to really do now is enter a price, cost of goods, right? Like listing would be just like that. And that's templates. They make it really fast. They're also available on the mobile app. And that's a really big deal because a lot of Vendoo users photograph on their phones. So most of them start drafts on their phones because you're going to open a draft, right? Apply a template right away and put your photos. A lot of people do go to the computer to then type. And I think just because we type quicker there, but that's not necessary. You can, list right from your phone too. And you'll have it all there. And, the template, again, less clicks. So it makes it really fast.
All right, we've got another question here about, are there any tutorials for how to navigate and use the site for when we're managing it on our own? You were very fast.
I'm so glad you asked. I was really fast. I'm sorry. And I cut it back to try to not make it overwhelming because I don't want you to think it's confusing to use. It's really user-friendly and intuitive. Like things are where they make sense, if that makes sense, right? So I don't want anyone to be overwhelmed, but it does do so many things that it is inevitably an overwhelming amount of information. But the answer is yes. I'm so glad you asked because one of the things that I do at Vendoo as a product specialist is I, in many ways, own our help center. So there is so many tutorials and resources, and I create them. So for example, if you wanted to see, listing, right, or importing, you could come right here. There's a video, which is me in the corner of your screen, kind of doing what you just saw. So it's a very similar script, if you will, that walks you through step by step. And if you prefer to learn, via photos, this is written instructions with screenshots, literally telling you step by step which buttons to click. We even have these resources available in Spanish as well. So yes, there are so many resources. Every single Vendoo tool and feature has an article with an explanation. We'll show you how to do it on the web. We'll show you how to do it on the app. We also have this little pink help button, which will take you to our live customer service. Live, real humans, good humans. I love them. They're actually great humans, 7 days a week that'll be happy to help you with anything that you need. So it all exists. We also publish tons of content. We have a really big Facebook community. Maria, if you could put the link in the chat to our Facebook group, where we have about 5,000 active Vendoo users that use Vendoo to sell on all of these marketplaces. We have a blog and YouTube where we publish a ton of stuff. So it's out there, and there's a supportive community to help you as well.
Yes, I love the little message feature too, because you can get a hold of somebody relatively quickly if something's not working quite right, or you run into a problem. The Spanish reminded me of, we had a question this morning that I promised I would answer because I wasn't sure if the person was going to be here this afternoon. They're from Canada. Now, I do work with a lot of Canadian sellers, and they're telling me that Vendoo isn't available in Canada. Is that true?
We do have people that have some loopholes on how to access US sites. A VPN is the short answer to that. But in full transparency, no. Through normal means, we're not yet outside of the US, although we will be. It is our goal to expand. So while there are ways to potentially make it possible, it's not fully supported.
Okay. Is there any kind of like time frame for when?
There isn't. No, it sounds so corny, but timeframes unfortunately just aren't something we can do. It's just not, even if I knew it, which I don't, I couldn't tell you because it's a tech company. We have a really talented team of developers that work to make everything you just saw so possible and shiny and perfect. But on the back end, it's sophisticated engineering that they encounter issues and roadblocks and questions and reprioritization of other things that arise. So for those reasons, you're probably never going to get a timeline answer out of any of us. And we know we're annoying. I feel it as I speak it.
I know there's a lot of people up in Canada that would probably love, they would die to trade places and to have access to Vendoo. So I know that, when you get to that point of having, or, for it being available in Canada, that a lot of people are going to be really excited.
What I can tell you is Canada is the most requested outside of the US.
Yeah.
We had some requests for Europe, but Canada is highly requested. So it would be my understanding that when we do expand, it will be first.
Okay. Cool. Are there any other questions for Maria or for Erin? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll wrap things up. And then once we're done with the call, then I'll go through, look at the comments because I can't see from where we're at, where we're streaming in from, and see who interacted. And then we'll have a winner. I'll announce the winner. And one of you will be walking away with 1 month of Vendoo free. And so I'll get you in touch with Maria. And Maria will set you up with, how to access your 1 month of free Vendoo. So I want to say thank you, a huge thank you one more time to Vendoo for not only being here with us today for the demo and for answering the questions, but for also sponsoring this event and sponsoring this challenge. So thank you so much, Maria and Erin. Thank you for your time. And thank you for joining us here for this challenge. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. And I will be in touch with you. I will be live with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. where we're going to be talking about how to start your reselling business on a shoestring budget. All right. I'll see you guys there. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.